Hi, Mr. Wright here, and welcome to this film in which we'll work through some Pythagoras exam questions together. Now, you can download the questions by hitting the link in the description, and then you can have a go at all the questions and then watch the film, or you can watch the film as you're doing the questions and work alongside me. Right, let's get on with the maths. Now, question 1 here. I've got a right angle triangle. I'm given two sides, and I need to work out the value of h correct to three significant figures. Right, so I'm going to square the 30, and I'm going to square the 52. And then I've just got to decide, is this a subtract Pythagoras, or is this an add them together Pythagoras? Well, that depends on whether I'm finding the hypotenuse or not. Now, in this case, I'm not finding the hypotenuse. I'm finding one of the shorter sides. So I'm going to do 2704 minus 900, which gives me 1804, and I'm going to square root 1804. And that gives me 42.473, and so on. Now, three significant figures, 1, 2, 3, there's the cutoff. Is it going to be 42.4 or 42.5? Answer 42.5. Right, question 2. The diagram shows an isosceles triangle. Work out the area of the triangle. Well, here you are. Look, it's isosceles. Those two are the same. Now, the area of a triangle, well, the formula for the area of a triangle is the base times the height divided by 2. Now, I know the base is 20. Now, do I know the height? I don't know the height. This is the height. I'll call the height x. I'm not going to call it h because that might stand for hypotenuse, so I'm not going to call it x. And that's my right angle. And now, how can I find that x? Well, if I look at this triangle here, the one on the right, I've got that is 10 centimeters, half of the 20. I've got the 14.5, and I'm trying to find x. So I can use Pythagoras. I'm going to do 14.5 squared, and I'm going to do 10 squared. And then I've just got to decide, am I adding those or subtracting those? Well, in this case, we're not finding the hypotenuse, are we? Because 14.5 is the hypotenuse. That's the one opposite the right angle. So I'm going to subtract them because I'm finding one of the shorter sides. So I'm going to square root 110.25. Now that gives me 10.5. Okay, so this height, which I've labelled x, is 10.5. Now, is that the question done? Let's have a look. Now, the question says work out the area of the triangle, right? So I have to do the base. Now, remember, it's the base of the whole triangle, so it's 20 times by the height, 10.5, divided by 2. So when I do that on my calculator, I get the answer 105. And that is question 2 done. Okay, question 3. Right, let's have a look. The diagram shows a shaded shape A, B, C, D. Yes, it does, that whole shape, right. Made from a semicircle. Here's the semicircle. And a right angle triangle. Here's the right angle triangle. Okay. Now, what does it say next? AC, that's this line, is the diameter of the semicircle. Yeah, well, it looks like the diameter, doesn't it? So that's good. Work out the perimeter of the shaded shape. Give your answer to 3 significant figures. Now the perimeter, that's walking all the way around, isn't it? So I'd have to walk from here. There's 15. Then that's 17. And then I'd have to walk around the outside of that semicircle. Well, I've got the 15 and the 17. I just don't know what this last red length is. But I do know that that is half the circumference of the circle. Now the whole circumference is pi d, pi times the diameter. And so I want pi times d divided by 2, because I only want half the circumference. I wish I knew what that d was. Now, how can I calculate that? Well, if you look at the blue right-angled triangle, you've got the 17 and the 15, so you can work out the third side length, can't you? I'm going to do 17 squared and 15 squared. Now, in this case, I'm going to subtract, because 17 is the hypotenuse, isn't it? It's the longest side. Okay, so I'm going to do 289 minus 225 to give me 64, and then I'm going to square root 64, and that is 8, and that is this length here, 8, and that's the diameter, isn't it? So I was going to do pi times the diameter, so pi times 8 divided by 2 is going to be the length of this, red line going around the top. So pi times 8, 8 times pi equals, divided by 2 equals, I get 12.566. And so on. So is that the question done? Let's have a look. Work out the perimeter of the shaded shape. So I've got to walk all the way around the shaded shape, haven't I? So it's going to be the 15 plus the 17 plus the 12.566. So I've already got 12.566 on my calculator, plus 15 plus 17 equals 44.566, and so on. Now correct to 3 significant figures. 1, 2, 3. There's the cutoff point. So the answer I'm going to give is 44.6. And that is question 3 done. Question 4. The diagram shows a shaded shape. Yes, it does. Made by removing a triangle from a rectangle. Yes, look, I see. So what they've done is they've got a rectangle and they've cut away a triangle from the top, haven't they? They've cut away this triangle there. Okay. Now they're giving us some side lengths. Let's check that each one is written on the diagram. A is 7.2, BE is 5.4, BC, oh yes, there it is 6. And that angle is 90. Good, so they're all labelled. Work out the perimeter of the shaded shape. Okay, well, where should we start walking? Start walking here, shall we? How far is that from D to A? It's 6, isn't it? Because it's the same as that. So 6. Right. Then if we were walking around the shaded shape, we'd go the 7.2. Then we go the 5.4. Then we go the 6. And then we would go all the way along here. Now it's that last length that we don't know, isn't it? Okay, so how are we going to find that length? Well, that red length is the same as this blue length. And I can find that blue length because I've got a right-angled triangle here, look. And the blue length is that right-angled triangle's hypotenuse. So I'm going to go 7.2 squared and 5.4 squared. And this time, because I'm finding the hypotenuse, I'm going to add them. So 7.2 squared, 51.84. 5.4 squared, 29.16. Right, I'm going to add those together. Gives me 81, not 18, sorry, 81. So square root 81, and I get 9. So that blue length is 9. So this red length is 9. And now I think I'm in a position to find the perimeter of the shaded shape. So let's go again, shall we? Right, we're going to go. That was 6, wasn't it? 6 plus 7.2 plus 5.4 plus 6 plus 9. Okay. 6 plus 7.2 plus 5.4 plus 6 plus 9. 6 plus 7.2 plus 5.4 plus 6 plus 9 gives me an answer of 33.6. Question 5. Right, the diagram shows a shape made up of 3 semicircles enclosing a right-angled triangle. Yeah, again, I can see those. Now, AB, that's that line. BC and CA are each the diameter of a semicircle. Oh, I see. So there's a semicircle and AB is the diameter. There's another one and there's another one. Okay? And each of those green lines, which are a side of the triangle, are a diameter of one of those semicircles. Okay. Then it says that BC, that one, equals CA equals 6. Well, they're labelled on the diagram. Good. Work out the perimeter of the shape. Give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. We're going to work out the perimeter of the shape. Let's start here. We've got to walk all the way around here, and then all the way around here, and then all the way around there. Let's do that red length first, shall we? So the red length is half the circumference of a circle. So it's going to be pi times d divided by 2, because it's half the circumference of a circle. And the diameter is 6, isn't it? So that's going to be pi times 6 divided by 2. So that's the red. Now the blue. Oh, the blue's just the same, isn't it? Because it's half the circumference of a circle. And look, the diameter is 6 again. So it's just going to be pi times 6 divided by 2. So that's the blue bit. Now what about the green bit? Well, it's half the circumference of a circle again, isn't it? So it's going to be pi times diameter divided by 2. But what's the diameter of that circle? What is this green length here? I don't know, but I can find it because it's the hypotenuse of the right-angled triangle, isn't it? Look, you can see it's opposite the right angle. I've got 6 and 6. So I can find the diameter, can't I? I can find the length AB. Let's do that now. 6 squared and 6 squared. 36 and 36. I'm adding them because I'm finding the length of the hypotenuse, and then I shall square root that. So AB is the square root of 72. What is that? Square root of 72 equals 8.485. 8.485. So it's going to be pi times 8.485 divided by 2. Okay, so I think now I can work out the perimeter of the shape. It's going to be pi times 6 divided by 2 plus pi times 6 divided by 2 plus pi times 8.485 divided by 2. Let's work out all of those, shall we? So I'm just doing it on my calculator, really. Plus 8.5 times pi divided by 2 equals, and I get an answer of a grand total of 32.1777. Now, correct a one decimal place, so there's the cutoff point. Is it going to be 32.1 or 32.2? 32.2. And that's my answer for question 5. Question 6. A, B, and C are points on a circle. Yes, they are, with a centre O. So that's the centre of the circle. AOC is a diameter. That's that line. And that's the diameter of the circle, or a diameter of the circle. AB is 8. Well, that's marked on the diagram. BC is 15. That's marked on the diagram. Angle ABC, there it is 90. That's marked on the diagram. So I think I understand the diagram, and I understand all those words. Work out the total area of the region shown shaded in the diagram. So I need the total of this area plus that area plus that area. Well, I'm not quite sure how to work out those areas and add them up. I mean, I know how to work out this one, which I'm rubbing out now because it's half the area of the circle, but I don't know how to work out those two bits of area. So I'm wondering what it wants me to do. Oh, no, wait a minute. How about if I worked out the area of the whole circle and then I subtracted away the area of that triangle? Then I'd be left just with the shaded areas. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work out the area of the whole circle and then subtract away the area of that triangle. So how am I going to work out the area of the whole circle? Let's do that in red. Well, area of a circle is pi r squared. Pi r squared sounds like area to me. Now, what's the radius of the circle? It's that distance, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute. That is half of that. Can I find out the whole length from A to C? Yes, I can. Look, it's a right angled triangle. And that is the hypotenuse. So I'm going to work out the length of the hypotenuse, 15 squared, 8 squared. Now, is this an add or a subtract? It's an add, isn't it? Because I'm working out the length of the longest side, the length of the hypotenuse. So 225 plus 64, that gives me 289. So the length of the diameter, the length from A to C, is the square root of 289. Well, that's 17. So the radius is half of that, isn't it? So the radius is going to be half of 17, 8.5. Now I can find the area of the circle. The area of the whole circle is going to be pi times 8.5 squared. Let's work out what that is while we're at it, shall we? So 8.5 squared times by pi equals 226.980, and so on. So that's the area of the whole circle. Now from that, I was going to subtract the area of this triangle, wasn't I? How do you find the area of a triangle? Right, the area of the triangle, let's do that in blue. Now, to find the area of a triangle, do base times height divided by 2. Well, the base is 8 and the height is 15, so that's okay. 8 times 15 divided by 2. Do that on my calculator, and I get 60. So the area of the shaded region is going to be the area of the whole circle minus the area of the triangle. That is 166.980, and so on. Give my answers correct to 3 significant figures. 1, 2, 3, there's the cutoff point. Is it going to be 166 or 167? It's going to be 167. That is question 6 finished. Question 7. Right, the diagram shows a quadrilateral. That's a four-sided shape. A, B, C, D. There we are. There's the four-sided shape. Okay. In the diagram, ABC, that's this triangle, and DAC, that's that one, are right-angled triangles. Okay, I can see that. Look, they've labelled them right angles there. BC is 6, well, that's labelled on the diagram. AC is 7.5, that's labelled on the diagram. The area of the quadrilateral, so the whole area, the area of the whole thing is 31.5. Work out the length of AD. Work out the length of AD. So here, I'll call it X. That is what we're trying to find. That's my target. Okay. Well, what can I work out to start with? I suppose I could work out this length, AB, because I could use Pythagoras on the bottom triangle. Now, if I worked out that length, then I could work out the area of that whole triangle. And then I could subtract that away from the 31.5, and I'd be left with the area of this triangle. Oh, and if I know the area of the triangle, I know its base, I bet I could then work out what its height was. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go backwards. So we'll start by working out that red length from A to B. So I'm looking at the bottom right-angle triangle. I've got 7.5 squared and 6 squared, and then I'll just have to decide, am I adding or subtracting? 7.5 squared is 56.25. 6 squared is 36. Now, in this case, I've got the hypotenuse already, haven't I? So I'm going to be subtracting. So when I subtract, I get 20.25. So the length from A to B is going to be the square root of 20.25. Square root answer equals 4.5. Okay, let's label this 4.5. Now I can work out the area of this bottom triangle, can't I? The area will be the base times the height divided by 2. Well, that's 6 times 4.5 divided by 2. Well, I can do that on my calculator. Gives me 13.5. So that's the area of that bottom triangle. So that means that I can work out the area of this top triangle. The area of the top triangle will be the whole area, 31.5, minus 13.5. So the area of that top triangle is 18. Okay, now let's have a think about that. That blue triangle, it's got a base of 7.5 and a height of x. So 7.5 times x, so 7.5 times x, 7.5x, the base times the height, divided by 2 is equal to 18, because the base times the height divided by 2 is equal to the area. So that means if I multiply both sides by 2, that 7.5x is equal to 36. So x is equal to 36 divided by 7.5. X is equal to 4.8. And that is question 7 done. Question 8. Here is a triangular prism. Okay. Work out the volume of the prism. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. Right, well, to find out the area, the volume of a prism, I'm going to do the area of the end multiplied by the 15. The area of the end multiplied by the length. So I really just need the area of the end. Well, the end is a triangle, so I'm going to draw that triangle here. I just need to find its area. Well, that's a right angle, that's 7.4. And I've got to do base times height, haven't I? Base times height divided by 2 for the area. Well, I know the base. I'm trying to think if I know any other dimensions on that triangle, any more side lengths. Wait a minute. That's 11.2, right? That's that, which is the same as that. So this is 11.2. So no, that's not the height. I was thinking that was the height, but it's not. But I can find the height using Pythagoras. So I'm going to go 11.2 squared and 7.4 squared. Okay, 11.2 squared, 125.44, and 7.4 squared, 54.76. Now, am I adding or subtracting? I'm subtracting, because I'm not finding the hypotenuse, I'm finding the length of one of the shorter sides. So I get 70.68. So the height of the triangle is going to be the square root of 70.68, which is 8.4071, and so on. So this is 8.4071. So now I can find the area of that. It's going to be the base, 7.4, times the height, 8.4071, divided by 2. Okay. That gives me an area of 31.106, and so on. Now I need the volume, don't I? So the volume will be the area of the end, 31.106, times 15. Now when I do that on my calculator, I get 466.596, and so on. And I'm asked to give that correct to 3 significant figures. 1, 2, 3. There's the cutoff point. 466 or 477? Sorry, 466 or 467? Answer 467. So there you are. 8 exam questions, all needing Pythagoras. Well done if you made it through those. Hit like if you found the film useful, leave me a question in the comments, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.